Okay, I am really self-conscious here. G'day and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Kathy and this is where I talk about my plants. Okay, today I'm going to be doing a repotting, and I have asked people on Instagram and on YouTube to give me some questions that they'd like me to answer, and I'll try to get through as many as I can. I have a few plants here and I'm actually outside and I'm not sure how long I'll be able to stay outside, so we'll see how we go. I'm also extremely self-conscious because it's the first time I'm recording outside. Well, actually it's not. No, it's not. But I'm really self-conscious that all my neighbours will be able to hear me, so forgive me if I get a bit... I actually usually repot in my garage. I don't have a car, so it's perfect. I have a table there and all my supplies are in there. But I thought I would try it out here because it is a beautiful day in Melbourne. A bit windy and it's a little overcast and humid, but regardless, I'll take it anytime over cold weather. Okay, so first thing I wanted to repot is I don't know if you guys can see that. This is what is left of my Alocasia black velvet. I just took it out of the pot to see whether it was dead or not. The roots look healthy and they're not, well, maybe not healthy, but they're not looking dead. They're nice and white. It's got the tuber there. So I thought I might repot it in a smaller pot. It was in peat moss, which I hate. So I thought I'd try it in something a bit faster draining. So, okay. I'm going to have to move some of my plants. It's a little crowded out here. I have a lot of plants out on my table. So I thought I'd show you where I'm sitting, right? Yeah. I am surrounded by plants. And my daffodils are out. I generally don't do anything to my soil. This is Osmocote Premium and I like to add a little bit of perlite. Not a ton of it, just some, to make it a little bit more fast draining. Honestly, I haven't had any issues. All my plants seem to really love it. Okay, so the first question I was asked was, I think, from Mary J's Plants. She asked me what other hobbies I have other than plants. I've actually already answered this in a previous video I did about 5 things you don't know about me, but briefly, I'm a knitter. I love to read. I love movies. I love playing poker. I love playing computer strategy games. I like to write novels, which I haven't done in a while. What else do I like? I listen to true crime podcasts. Yeah, I really enjoy those. I think that's about... Yeah, I think that's most of the hobbies that I have. I'm sure I've left some things out, but regardless, I think that's enough. Mary J also asked me, who's my favourite author? That is a really hard question to answer because it all depends what I'm in the mood for. I love Stephen King. I love pretty much all of his books. I love his fantasy as well as his horror. But I also love fantasy. And I also love legal thrillers. So it all depends on what I'm in the mood for. I don't really read non-fiction. I think I used to read so much for work that I always preferred to read fiction when I wasn't working, or for pleasure anyway. Okay, so that's my little Alocasia. Well, I don't know if it'll survive, but we'll hope, right? Okay. The next thing I want to repot is my gorgeous Peperomia obtusifolia lemon and lime. As you can see, tiny little pot, a lot of foliage, and I'm not sure if you can see that, but her roots are actually coming out of the bottom, so she definitely needs a repot. And I thought it'd be a good idea to do it now in spring so that she can just take off and continue growing. Okay. I hate getting plants out of pots. I'm always worried I'm going to damage them. Oh yeah, she is not coming out. There we go. Here she comes. Oh yes. Peperomias. Yeah, I can see. Oh darling, I'm so sorry. Okay, so I got her out. She's not. I guess that's a little root bound for a peperomia. I actually don't like to disturb the roots, but as you can see, all the soil is compacted, which is why I find I'm watering her a lot more than I used to. I actually don't think I want to mess around too much with the soil. I don't know. What do you guys think? I'm still so new at this, I really don't know what I'm doing half of the time. Okay. Alright. Well, the next question I got was from Plantifa Movement. They asked me what music I like to listen to when I'm looking after my plants. I'm a rock girl. I like rock music. I'm not as big a fan of a lot of the music today, I have to admit. So I listen to a lot from the 80s, 90s, etc. My favourite band is U2. I've seen them in concert quite a few times, so I often listen to them. But also like Fleetwood Mac, Pink Floyd. Oh God, just so many. I think I might pot her the way she is in a bigger pot, because I really don't want to hurt her roots. I put some music on now, but I don't think you're allowed to. So I think I'm going to go with a 140, 14 centimetres pot. Let's have a look. Wow, that'll be a tight fit. Yeah, I'm not sure. Actually, I think I'm going to go with this size. Okay, the next question is from Chick Mama Plants. She asked me what my favourite and worst plant chores are. Okay. My favourite, to be honest, I really like all. I don't mind any of the chores that are relating to plants. I love watering them. I love cleaning them. I don't like cleaning leaves. Okay, there you go. There's something I don't like. And I actually usually don't clean leaves. I prefer to wash my plants. That's a good height. I usually hose my plants off instead of actually cleaning leaves as such. The worst chore for me is cleaning up all the soil that gets everywhere. I hate that. That's probably the one thing I don't like about plants. I mean, I'm much better than I was. I used to get really stressed out about it. I don't know if she's going to be happy in this. She might need a bigger pot. Unfortunately, in Australia, very hard to find anything. We have these 14 centimetres pots. Then the next size up is 18, which is way too big for this plant. She has got a little bit more room, so maybe that will be enough for her. Okay, the next question is from Tasha Kitty. She asked me if I have any experience with orchids and do I have any favourites. I personally don't have any experience with orchids because I can't stand them. I know that's probably an unpopular opinion, but I grew up with a mother who loved orchids and I thought they were the ugliest thing for most of the year because all they were foliage. And I did not like their foliage anyway. So I'm not a fan of orchids. I don't have any. Don't intend to get any. But you never know. Never say never, right? But no, unfortunately, I don't have any experience with them. Except for watching them when my mum had them. She still has them actually. I think she has some that are like 20 or 30 years old. Next question is from Susan Knitter 2. She asked me, do I have any experience with hydrogen peroxide? Before I answer that, I thought I'd show you guys. What do you think? Isn't she just stunning? I just love this plant. You know, I actually turn her, but she still seems a little bold on this side. But hopefully she'll be a lot happier now that she's got a little bit more room to grow. Yeah? Yeah, I'm very happy with that. Okay, this is my Peperomia Moonlight. Capriata, I think it is, Moonlight. I just recently hauled this from Greenhouse Nursery in Brunswick, and it is in peat moss. And it's been at least a week, so I now want to take it out of the peat moss, because I hate the stuff, and put it in something better draining. Now, last year when I was still very new to plants, I had a fungus gnats issue, quite severe, so I did a lot of reading as to how to get rid of them. I didn't have sticky traps, but I had little bowls of apple cider and soap, which caught a lot of the adults, but it didn't matter, they were still reproducing like crazy. And eventually I got so sick of it that I tried hydrogen peroxide as a wash through the soil. I think I also used cinnamon, yeah, because they don't like cinnamon on the top of the soil. So anyway, I did use hydrogen peroxide in the soil, and it did kill the fungus gnats, got rid of the problem. We're also probably going into spring at the time, but I didn't like the way it bubbled up. I just thought, oh, that can't be good for the plant or the soil. Apparently it won't hurt them, but regardless, I didn't like it, and I haven't used it since. So yes, I have some small experience with hydrogen peroxide. This had a little bit of cloth around the plug for it. I generally won't disturb them, but I actually prefer to get rid of them when they're a bit more established like this. Okay, so I'm going to repot it into the same pot. It's the right size for it, I think. I've run out of coffee filters to put down the bottom, because soil always goes everywhere, doesn't it? I did lose a couple of leaves, but I'm going to propagate those. I just hope I haven't killed it. Now, yeah, I have killed it. I think Steve is your name. Please correct me if I'm wrong. He asked me what is my alcohol of choice. Okay. I gotta say, I'm not as big a drinker as I used to be. When I was a student, oh my god. Yeah. When I was a student, I used to drink a lot, but my alcohol of choice is tequila or gin. Love tequila. I don't care if it's in shots or if it's in margaritas. But I also love gin, like gin and tonics, things like that. Well, the truth is I really don't drink as much as I used to now. I think I've become a one-pot screamer now. Okay, next question. I'm sure I'm going to get these wrong, so I'll see if I can put the names on the screen. Andy Hilgers asked me, what's a wish list plant that I don't have yet? Okay. I'm not big on wish list plants. Well, I guess that's not quite true. I think everyone has wish list plants, right? But they're not like plants that I have to have. It's if I find it has the right price and plant's in good condition, then I'll buy it. But I'm a cheapskate. I don't like spending a lot of money on plants. And really, one of my wish list plants is, which I think is pretty much a unicorn for me in Australia, and is the Philodendron verrucosa, simply because I think it is the most stunning looking plant. Or also the gloriosum, or glorious. But they're really overpriced in Australia, and I refuse to pay ridiculous amounts of money for plants, which you guys probably already know or have guessed. Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, it's a plant. I could kill it. I'm not willing to spend crazy money on plants. So they probably will remain wishlist plants for a very long time to come. Although I'm really slow at potty. I'm really slow at answering questions. Fernboy69 asked me if I am interested in carnivorous plants, nepenthes. I'll be honest, I haven't really explored that avenue, but I'm still fairly new, so there are so many different plants that I haven't tried. And I'm always open to trying different things except orchids, but it is something I might get into. My understanding was that a lot of carnivorous plants have higher requirements than most common plants, and that's the only reason that I've hesitated, but it might be that one day I will, so I haven't ruled it out yet. Tahir Azehra, and please forgive me if I've mispronounced that. She asked me a couple of questions. She asked me what my current favourite plants are and if I have fallen out of love with any plants. And she also asked me my most troublesome plants and if I've solved any issues. Well, okay. My current favourite, it's always my Monstera. I just love my Monstera to death, and he, whatever you want to call it, is constantly surprising me by putting out new growth. And he's currently putting out an even bigger leaf than the last one, so I am just loving it. Seeing him grow and take over my house. I'd be quite happy if he did, actually. So that's probably my current favourite. The ones I've fallen out of love with, I think they're usually the ones that I have real troubles with, where I just cannot work out what their issue is. I have an aglaonema, it's called Night Sparkle, which is constantly losing leaves. And it's almost down to one leaf now. It's not got any pests, and I really don't know why it's being a little bitch, but it is. So I am ready to throw in the towel with that one. So I think it is generally plants that give me a lot of grief that I don't like and that I fall out of love with. And problems, current problems, well, I guess I answered that as well, didn't I? I don't know about solving problems. I did have spider mites a few months ago, which freaked me out because I'd read so many horror stories. But I treated it with white oil. I think what a lot of people overseas call horticultural oil. I treated it with that, or treated the plants that I had with that, and they seem to have recovered. I've got to say, I'm always worried about repotting these more delicate peperomias. Seems I either don't do it right, get them in properly, and then I worry, see, it's shaky. And I'm not liking that at all. No, darling, I'm going to go back in. I think I'm going to put it in a little bit deeper. The trials and tribulations, right? Live and learn. Hero also asked me if I thought that this craze on plants will change. All the price hiking, gouging, let's be honest, and media craze. And I think it definitely will. Trends come and go, right? Plants were very trendy in the 70s, then people lost interest, and now they're trendy again. Damn, I'm having so much trouble with this. But I do think that the craze will stop. I also think that COVID has got a lot to do with it. But on the other hand, this plant craze had started last year anyway, even before COVID. And I am sure that it will change with time. Well, I think I did the right thing to repot it because I wasn't happy. I say, not so shaky. And the soil will probably settle once I've watered it. Ugh, they're so delicate, these little babies. I don't know about you guys, but I'm always like freaking out if I'm going to kill them by repotting them. And that's probably because I'm still fairly new to plants, so I consider 18 months to be really experienced. I have repotted a lot of plants, but regardless, I still think you always worry. Ah, that looks a lot better. What do you guys think? She's looking a little droopy, but hopefully once I give her some water, she'll be a lot better. Okay. Now, there is a lot of debate about her. In Australia, we call these Peperomia snow queen, I think. I've just noticed on the label it's called Enochian marble queen, and it is definitely not a marble queen. Overseas they might be called Enjoy or Pearls and Jade, I really don't know. Okay, she's been drying out very fast. Not sure if she needs a repot, but I guess I'll check. Okay, nice healthy roots. I don't think she liked that soil. I don't like that soil either, so this is a good opportunity to repot up. Okay. Not sure yet if... Get down, get down! Okay, so Spiro Lauren asked me what my favourite plant is. I've already answered that. My Monstera, it's always my favourite. I think that's a good size, don't you? Yeah. Okay. So Victoria's colourful. I can't remember the rest of that. Sorry, Victoria. I'll put your name on the screen anyway. She asked me if I have any children. I don't. I decided not to have any kids. So, no kids. Somebody else asked me, and again, I'm really sorry, I'll put your name on the screen. They asked me to recommend any books. Oh, that is really hard to answer. It really depends what you like to read. You'd have to be a bit more specific. Tell me which genre you want a recommendation on. If it's fantasy, I recommend that you read Robert Jordan. He's fabulous. George R.R. Martin is good. Stephen King's Dark Tower series. If it is legal thrillers, don't read John Grisham because they're garbage. Yes, I feel very strongly about his books, and I would recommend Richard North Patterson and Scott Turow, who wrote Presumed Innocent. And if you haven't read it, you have to read To Kill a Mockingbird. That is my all-time favourite book. I was I think still at school, high school. And I'd already gone through all my books and I'd run out of things to read. And so I raided my older brother's room looking for books. And that was one that he was reading for school. And I thought, sounds interesting, I'll read it. And I did. And I have loved it ever since. It is one I revisit quite often. So yes, if you have not read that, you should definitely read To Kill a Mockingbird. Other books, like I said, it honestly depends what you like to read. So I'm just trying to get this Snow Queen positioned right. She's definitely a much slower grower than Devil's Ivy. We call it Devil's Ivy. I think you guys overseas call it, well, maybe not every country, but I think a lot of people overseas call it Golden Pothos. We don't really call it pothos in Australia. If I do put in the trellis. Oh, she's not like being outside, I don't think. Oh, she sits a bit better. What do you guys think? Is she pretty? She's just put on all this growth in the last few months, actually over winter, surprisingly enough. Okay, I think I've answered all the questions you guys had, and I'm almost out of soil. I don't think I'm going to have enough for my Dracaena, so I'll have to go in to the garage and get some more. I'm wondering if I should cut her. I don't really want to. I really love her the way she is. I was wondering whether I should make her a bit more pushy. Not that she isn't. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments whether you think I should prune her back a little. Maybe propagate a second plant. I don't know. I could give her away to someone. But she's quite beautiful. I really love her. I really do need to repot my Dracaena, because I noticed it last week when I was watering. Can you see that? Oh my god, yes. She has definitely, or he has definitely outgrown his pot. Got him, I think, around spring last year. I don't know if you guys can see, but his trunk is really crooked. He's straightening up more and more. And he was really looking unhealthy when I got him. But he has just not stopped growing for me. It's a very happy plant, and I love it. I think he's really beautiful. I love the structure of him. And I'm not getting any crispy edges. All the brown edges I have are from when I got the plant in the first place. Like this leaf. Don't know if you can see that. I'll see if I can give you a close-up. All the new leaves are just perfect. So I don't know what it is about plants that grow for you, but I think when they grow so well for you, you just love them, don't you? Well, I do anyway. So I'll see, but I don't think I have enough soil. So I actually might reuse the soil, because it's actually not that old. I only repotted him last year. Actually, might have been this year. He's just outgrown his pot. Oh, he is definitely root bound. Oh, I'm sorry, darling. I'm having trouble getting him out. There we are. Yeah, you are definitely root bound. Okay. Woo. Now look at that. And seriously, I repotted him. God, it would have been, I think it was the start of the year. It might even have been in like February or March. He's grown really fast. He's going to outgrow my house, which is fine by me. I don't mind. I don't like disturbing the roots too much. Just like to kind of loosen them up a little, so that when I put him in his new pot, he'll be able to just grow how he likes. Yeah. Wow. Isn't he gorgeous though? Oh, I think so. Have a look. Actually, it's probably the right size for that pot. Cool. Okay. I'm not going to put him. No, that's it. I prodded him up a little crooked the last time, so I'm going to see if I can get him a little bit more straight this time. But yeah, I'm out of soil and I'm out of questions, so I'm going to end it here. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me, and thank you so much to all of you who did submit a question. I really do appreciate it. Gave me something to do while I did all my repotting. Again, thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, you can give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, you can subscribe to my channel. I hope you all have a wonderful day, a wonderful weekend. Until next time, take care, guys. Always have to be outside where I am.